I'm good, Mike. Thanks for having me on.
You got it, man. And it's good to have you as we're getting into the baseball season. I got to imagine this is probably a pretty exciting spring training for you because you really know you're going down there with a chance to be one of those 5 guys.
Right, yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something I'm excited about. I'm kind of taking the same mentality as I did last year. I'm just going to go down there and try to prove myself and just do the best that I can and hopefully earn a spot by performing on the field.
Now, was that something last year you thought you had a shot to do, or did you think it was more of a long shot that you would make the team out of spring training?
I'll be honest, I thought I'd probably be in the first cuts. But, yeah, I went down there with, I went there with the mentality of I have nothing to lose. So I'm going to go out there and give my best shot and see what happens. And success started to fall my way, and I ended up staying through, first cuts and second cuts, and then all the talk about me being the 5th guy until Cole got better. It really caught me off guard, but that was something that I really didn't try to let get to me too much because I didn't really get caught up in it. But it was definitely humbling to know that I was even in the conversation of that role.
Give us a little bit of history on you, your background for the listeners out there who saw you pitch last year and were like, where did they find this guy? Where did he come from? How did you end up making it all the way up to the majors with the Phillies last year?
Well, I started the year off in AAA. I finished the year in AAA. The year before that, I had about probably 6 or 7 starts, and then that following year, I got the invite to big league camp. I think mid-January, and I went down there, and I think the success I had in spring training definitely put me more on the radar than anything else, having against big league hitters. So then I went in there towards the season in Lehigh, and I started off pretty hot. I had a pretty good season in AAA, and then when Cliff went down, they called me up, and fortunately enough, I did okay to leave a good impression. And when he unfortunately got hurt again, I was the first call to come back, so it was great.
David, what is, we talk to a lot of guys who make the jump from the minors to the majors, and they come up here. What to you was the biggest difference? What is the one thing that, opened your eyes to? Everybody thinks they're the man, that they can get guys out, and then you get up there and you see it's not as easy maybe as it seems. What is the biggest change from the minors to the majors?
I personally feel that in the minor leagues, you have the teams that are, sometimes better than the others. But with baseball, any team can beat any team on any day. But you also have those players that stand out on certain teams that the big names. And I feel like when you get to the big leagues, every hitter 1 through 9 is that guy. Like every hitter is the big name. So there's no pitches that you can take off. There's no hitter or inning that you can relax on and kind of lose focus. You really gotta be dialed in the entire game, pitch by pitch. And I feel like the biggest thing for me is knowing that when you make mistakes, the hitters capitalize on it a lot more consistently than they do in the minor leagues.
Yeah, and it seems like, that is the big key is everybody can, you make a mistake, they make you pay for it up here. Were you surprised, though? I mean, if you look at your numbers last year, the wins and losses, if people just go by that, it would say, all right, 6-8, nothing special. But your ERA and your whip and stuff, were you pretty surprised at the success you were able to come right up here and have?
I don't want to say surprised because then I feel like I was lacking confidence, but I was definitely pleased with the success that I did have. But also on the other side of the coin, it really showed me a ton of things that I can continue to work on and get better at to have more success and more consistent success at the big league level. But this past year was a great learning experience for me. I love being with the guys in the clubhouse and the front office, the coaching staff, everybody. His organization is just fantastic. So I just enjoyed getting that experience and getting that under my belt. And hopefully I can just, take off from there and ride the wave as long as I can.
David, that's kind of interesting because, this is an interesting team. The team did not have a lot of success last year, but you've got some guys that you can really pick their brain, a Cole Hamels and a Cliff Lee. They are 2 of the better pitchers in the game. How much do you find yourself kind of talking to those guys, and which pitchers do you really feel like you're picking their brain a lot since you've been up here?
It was every day, to be honest. Every day in spring training, on the plane rides, in the hotel, in the lobby, during batting practice. Any chance I got to talk to those guys, I was talking to them. And they were so open to me and just kind of taking me under their wing just to kind of give me advice and help me out whenever I needed to. AJ was huge on that, just kind of showing me how to be a good ball player on and off the field and just how to approach the game and just really figuring out their approaches to the game, how they're so different from one another. but they all have success different ways, and it just goes to show you that there's no, perfect way to pitch. You got to figure out what works for you, and all those guys do it differently. And you got to take what works for you and what works for them and kind of filter in what you can, and then just kind of let the other stuff go, because not everything that AJ does is going to work for me, and so forth, and for him, for me. So I try to pick their brains anytime I could, because they obviously know what they're doing and they've done it for a while. So any chance I have opportunity to take advantage of that, I was doing it.
What I noticed watching you pitch, was really entertaining, because it seemed that at, 24, 25 years old, you were a competitor. I mean, when you got taken out of games, you were not happy about it at times. I mean, you could see you're one of those guys that kind of wears it on the sleeve. Is that something that is accurate? I mean, do you kind of say, yeah, I do like people knowing that I'm a competitor and I want to be out there to win? Because it seemed like when there were times last year, you could kind of tell you wanted to stay in some of them games.
Oh, any game that I get taken out of, I'm not going to be happy. When I take that ball, I plan on going 9 innings every time. And wearing my emotions on my sleeve is something I try to work on, because I don't want to show anybody up. I never want to come out of the game. But at the same time, I respect Rhino's decision. He understands what he's doing out there, and he has a plan for the game. And I got to realize that it's bigger than me. It's not just about me out there. It's about the team winning. And when he feels like I've done my job and I've done the best that I can do, then it's time to go. Then it's time to go. Now, I'm never going to be happy about that, but I respect it and I accept it. And I go off of that, and I try to look at it from his point of view and then realize why I came out of the game. But that's something that I've always been known for, as being a competitor. I do show my emotion. I try not to do it on the field, but when I come out of the games, it's kind of a hard thing to hide, because I'm not going to pretend that I'm happy about coming out of a game when I'm not.
Talking with, no, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
That's something. That I want the fans to know as well, and my teammates, that I'm out there to win, and I'm out there to give y'all the most that I can. And now on the same side of the coin, I gotta realize that when I've done my job, I've done my job, and that's it. That's all I can do. But I'm not going to try to, show my butt and really have a bad attitude about it. But I'm going to let them know that I'm out there for a reason, and that's to help them win the ball game.
I know it's tough for a younger guy, but and we're talking with David Buchanan, the Phillies pitcher here, and a lot of people are anticipating that David will make the big league club coming out of spring training. And who knows? Cole Hamels may or may not be here. Obviously, do you have a gut feeling on that? I mean, obviously the players stay out of these things, but do you think that Cole will be your teammate this year?
It's just like you said, I stay out of all that stuff. I have no idea what's going on. That's above my pay grade, those decisions. But I'll tell you one thing, I do hope he does come back. He's an outstanding teammate. Obviously, he's a fantastic pitcher, and I love talking to that guy and really getting his input on stuff. And just talking to him, not only as a ball player and a teammate, but as a friend. He's just a good person all the way around. So he's definitely a guy that I like to have in the clubhouse. So I hope he comes back, because he's a big part of our ball club.
All right, Ryan Sandberg, I don't know if you heard this or saw this. There was an article in the paper today that basically said that the clubhouse was dysfunctional last year, and that basically it was not a conducive to winning clubhouse. Does that surprise you to hear your manager, make those claims about your clubhouse?
I really can't say. As a rookie, I really kind of stayed, under the radar. I wanted, just to kind of do what I was told, just to stay out of the way. Kind of speak when spoken to type attitude. But our clubhouse is, it's our clubhouse, and that's something that we keep within our team. But I know every day we come in there, the only thing that you can see is that everybody's there to win. Everybody's there giving it the best they got that day, and everybody's working hard to have success in the field. So that was never a doubt that I ever crossed my mind. Is we're guys there to win, because every day when those guys walk in the clubhouse, whether we've won 5 in a row or lost 5 in a row, those guys are there to get better, and they're there to win.
David Buchanan, the Phillies pitcher here on 97.3 ESPN. Spring training, I guess you got to be excited about getting back down to Clearwater. What are, some of your thoughts on this year's team? Obviously, the offseason's not over yet, but not a lot of expectations as there have been in the past. This team was always picked to be in first place for the last 10 years or so, and it seems like you guys are a little under the radar right now.
Well, that's baseball. Teams can go from last to first in the blink of an eye. When a team gets together and that chemistry clicks and you start playing ball as a team and everything starts falling into place, teams that are under the radar can be really dangerous, because other teams don't take them seriously, and those guys have a chip on their shoulder, and sometimes they turn out being more hungry than other teams. So I think, even though we're under the radar right now, I'm very confident in the way that we go about our business, the way we get coached, and, just taught about how to, go about our business on and off the field, I really think we have a good chance to have success this year.
Well, David, you're doing the rounds, man. You're all over the place. What are you, in Lehigh tonight? You'll be in Atlantic City tomorrow. You're going to a basketball game Saturday. It seems like you got a pretty busy week ahead of you here.
Oh, yes, sir. I love it, man. It's all about spending time with the fans and kind of getting my name out there to meet these people face-to-face that, spend the money and the time to come out and watch me play and support me. So, I mean, the minimum that I can do is go out and just kind of shake their hands, take some pictures. That means the world to me to let them know that I appreciate what they do for me.
Well, obviously, we're going to be watching in spring training. It should be an interesting battle there to see if the Phillies add some more or they end up having you up here with the big club. I think, you probably will be. You pitched really well last year, so good luck to you. Keep yourself healthy for the whole season, and good luck with the rest of the offseason, and hopefully we'll talk to you during the year.
Mike, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.